Welcome to Dumb and Dumber.
Episode 5.
Is it 5?
Yeah, because the last one was 4.
Oh, yeah. Right.
Yeah. So.
Seems like we've been wearing the same clothes for how many days we've been doing this.
Yeah, these are pre-recorded. So if something huge has happened in the last 2 weeks, because I'm going away at this point in life, you'll probably get...
Plus the world just ends in the next day.
You guys will get this 2 weeks from today, basically. Yeah, next week, Monday or Tuesday or whenever she decides, she'll post it, and then the week after that, whenever she decides to post it, and the week after that will also be pre-recorded.
Yep.
So if something huge has happened, like I don't know, the world's ended or whatever.
Oh no, the zombie apocalypse has happened.
Or our podcast is absolutely taken off and we're like number one on Spotify. I don't think we ever will get that.
That's sweet.
Imagine. But yeah. So we want to get a little in depth here, a little heartfelt, you know. I read those little stop texting boys.
Don't worry, I'm just ignoring it at this point.
Yeah,
they have a whole other story.
Yeah. So, me, Aiden Walt, has, the age of grade 2, was diagnosed with ADD, attention deficit disorder, which is a less severe version of ADHD, which is attention hyperactive disorder, or attention deficit hyperactive disorder.
And me, when I was in grade 4, I was diagnosed with dyslexia and was very borderline on ADHD. People who were diagnosing me, honestly, they told me that they didn't know. So it's probably just symptoms from dyslexia.
Yeah. So I think we will start this off on how we got our story leading up to how we got diagnosed. I'll start off with mine.
Yeah.
Here's a little more in depth, a little more interesting. Me personally, I was in grade 2. I had fallen behind on reading quite a bit. My teacher knows a lot. I daydream in class, and I remember exactly what we were reading in my reading support group that day. I remember just because I remember the picture of the day I got taken in to be diagnosed for ADD. I was reading a book about red airplanes.
That's cool.
Yeah, and took in, diagnosed ADD, and just been on meds ever since. Every school day, not every day.
Yeah.
Not that severe. I take a 30 milligram, take a 25 milligram dextrin.
Well, yeah. How much does that actually help? Because I know that a lot of I've had some of the when I was younger, I used to think, oh, people with like ADHD are so lucky they just take a pill and it's all better. But I know it's not how it works.
No, it depends on your dose. My dose is definitely low for what I have. Like, it doesn't help me fully, but it helps me enough where I'm still me, but I can still concentrate on everyday tasks.
Nice.
When I'm off it, I'm all over the place, I'm everywhere. That's why I love doing the podcast when I'm off it, because I take it wherever I want.
I don't know if you've ever seen Ryan Hickey's podcast. He calls it Off the Pill podcast, because he's ADHD, and he always does it when he's not on the pill.
Yeah.
Which is always really funny.
Yeah, and I'm ADD, so I'm not ADHD. I don't have the hyper part. I'm just bad at concentrating for most parts, but a lot of other things comes with ADD that people don't know. It's TikTok we saw that I found very true to me was design-wise, I see designs and I like designs that your average person would find aesthetically appealing.
We can also go more in depth in the visual symptoms.
Yeah. I'll take a look at it. You talk about your story and I'll...
Alright, and then look up the symptoms for dyslexia too. I actually know them too. So my story with dyslexia was, when I was really little, I was the only person who knew I couldn't read. I was in French immersion at the time. I do have pretty severe dyslexia, but I was really young. All my friends, were really good at reading. I was really low with my friends. I was like, I have to read. I was a smart kid. Like, it may not help my future, but I was smart in the way of, I understood that people thought I should be able to read. So what I did was, when I was younger, every time I had a reading test, I would look at the pictures, I'd look at a word, and even if I could read it, I had absolutely no idea what it was saying. and half the time I couldn't even read the word. My spelling was awful, but I was a kid, so no one really questioned that. So whenever I had to do reading tests, I would just say to the teacher, I'd read it really badly, and then the teacher would be like, oh, ask me a question. They'd be like, oh, but you can go through the book and look through it if you want. I'd look through it, I'd find the pictures, and I'd find keywords I actually knew, and I'd just answer the questions correctly, or close enough to correctly that they would just go with it. They just give it to me. I got away with that until basically the end of grade 4.
Or for some reason you're in England year 5.
Yeah, and but the thing is, I was told with the severe amount of dyslexia I have, most kids who have that probably more diagnosed for me like grade 1, grade 2, because they would have caught it a lot sooner, because of the way my brain is working and how I just couldn't understand, and my spelling was awful. And yeah, so that got diagnosed. Switched to English because I was doing awful in French. Did a whole switch to school stuff, and yeah, dyslexia is not too well known. Like, it's a lot of people have it, but there's a lot of people have a less severe version of it because it is more. It's a spectrum. I know a lot of people have it worse than me, and a lot of people have it way less than I do. So.
Yeah. But actually, we looked up earlier today that more people in the world have dyslexia than they do ADD or ADHD.
But I think that the majority of them still have like a less severe version.
Oh yeah.
That's why it's less known.
So, I saw what is the difference between ADD and ADHD. So, this is poor working memory.
Yeah, he has terrible memory.
Like, my memory is all over the place. That doesn't help with concussions.
Not me. He says some concussions.
But yeah, so poor working memory. That's also my dad. Inattention, distractibility, and poor executive function. So yeah, I'd say that. And then with ADD or ADHD, it's a squirmy, impulsive individual, bursting with energy, struggles to wait his or her turn, talkative, fidgety, has a nervous energy.
Yeah, I think the other thing that needs to be pointed out is also any girls that have ADD or ADHD, the symptoms can be different, and it's different.
Well, yeah, they're a lot more of a severe. Because they don't state ADD or ADHD for that long. It turns into more of a general anxiety or a depression,
which can get pretty bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I know dyslexia has. I can look up some more symptoms for that.
So technically, I saw the difference between ADD and ADHD. Technically speaking, attention deficit disorder (ADD) is no longer a medical diagnosis.
ADD?
ADD.
Really?
So yeah, so it's, you either have ADHD or nothing.
Huh.
But I was tested back when ADD was a thing. Or a medical diagnosis. But when was good to listen?
Okay, just a thing. I left this guy on red, and now he's texting me again.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Put your phone down.
No, I'm looking through symptoms. So my computer's being used for that.
Okay. So, Mira, I'm gonna play doctor here for a second.
Okay.
Do you constantly seem to be fidgeting? Very often, sometimes, rarely, never.
I fidget a lot.
So you say often or very often?
Often.
It says my child, but I'm gonna go with.
Okay.
Mira is disorganized and even with my help, can't seem to learn how to become organized.
I can
Rarely.
Rarely. I can be organized.
Mira has difficulty waiting patiently to take turns and butts ahead in lines or grabs toys from playmates. You that when you were younger?
When I was younger, I wasn't like sometimes.
Sometimes on there.
Yeah.
That was often. Child loses things like homework and personal belonging. Very often for me. Often for you?
Often.
For me, it was very often.
Yeah.
It's very difficult for my child to stay focused on homework and other tasks.
Yep. Very often.
Very often. My child interferes in the classroom because he or she has difficulty engaging in quiet activities without disturbing others. I wasn't like this. This is where the difference between ADD and ADHD. I was the complete opposite. I wasn't engaged because I was dreaming out the window.
Yeah. For me, like, I was depending on like the year. It was like depending on like what age I was, because I was either really quiet or had energy and would kind of just be like doing the quiet stuff, kind of bouncing. Like I'd probably be doodling my work. Like I wouldn't be paying attention.
Sometimes.
Sometimes, yeah.
Even the smallest distractions can throw my child off tasks. Me, that's often.
I think, yeah. It's either often or...
Often, very often, sometimes, rarely, never.
Often or sometimes. Probably often. I'm not sure.
If you're not sure, well, sometimes.
Yeah.
In class or at home, my child blurts out answers to questions before they are fully asked. Both do that.
Yeah.
Everyone often.
Okay.
My child forgets to do things, even consistently reminded. Yes.
Depends on the thing, whether I want to do it or not.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
My child has problems remaining seated even when he or she is supposed to. Very often. My child talks a lot, even when he or she has nothing much to say. Very often for me. I think for you too.
Yeah. Very often.
Child interrupts other people's activities and conversations. I will say that's very often for me. I'm very bad at doing that.
I'd say
Often.
often.
You're not as bad as me, but
No,
you're
I do
not
it
good.
though. I know.
You're not good, but you're better than me.
Yeah, which isn't saying that much.
No.
Sorry.
No, it's not sorry, I know.
Yeah.
It's because I think of it, right?
Yeah, I know.
Even when spoken to directly, a child seems to not be paying attention.
Yeah.
Often for you or sometimes?
Wait, what is the question? Sorry.
Well, very often apparently, because when spoken to directly, my child seems to be not paying attention.
It's my comprehension. I try to pay attention, and then I get distracted by something.
So I'm just gonna go often.
I didn't know that was the question.
Yeah, because you weren't paying attention.
That was good time.
Great timing, thank you.
Oh my God.
My child tries to avoid activities that requires sustained concentration
Yup. Yes, very often.
and a lot of mental effort.
Very often.
My child fails to complete an activity before moving to the next activity.
I do that a lot.
That room.
Oh yeah.
You know, at times we do that and then
I get distracted. I don't want to go do something else.
often.
Yeah.
My child makes careless mistakes. Often. Me. I'm the careless mistake.
Hey,
My
no,
child-
that was a good choice.
My child acts as if he or she is driven by a motor. Like, it's an on and off switch.
That's you definitely.
I'm on or off.
Yeah, me not as much.
Rarely.
Yeah. No. Yeah, rarely. Is that all of them?
Mm-hmm.
What did it say? What?
Wow, a waste of time. Jeez.
Why?
You scored 47 out of a 68.
What does that mean? That good?
The higher the point total, the greater the likelihood that you show signs of attention deficit or hyperactive disorder.
So 47 out of what?
68. Yeah, your phone do the division on that.
$69%.
If your score is 51 to 68, that means you answered often or very often to most of the questions. So no, you were just below the cusp. You got 48 out of 68, right?
Yeah, 69%.
Nice.
Yeah.
But no, here it says if your score is 51 to 68, then it's a chance you're gonna have it.
Huh.
It's basically 70%.
Huh?
So basically, if 70% or higher, you said you should go see a trained healthcare professional to see if your child has ADD or ADHD.
Yeah.
So you were literally
In between the two?
just below the cusp.
So it was
So no, you do not have it according to this.
sweet.
But you were just below it.
Wait, but you said it was in between 51 and
68. You have it. You got 48.
ah.
Dumbass.
Wait, but they meant percent.
Yes, no, it's closer to probably do the percentage wise for 51 out of 68.
Oh, you meant but never mind.
If your score is 51 to 68, which you should probably have
I
it.
get it now.